Proving his third assertion, in spite of outlier status, human nature makes us concoct explanations for its occurrence after the fact, making it explainable and predictable. But I am not talking about explaining after the fact, although better explanations of events do lead to an increase in knowledge overall. I am talking about the missing link in predicting. I am talking about picking up where our agreed-upon GIF leaves off. In plain English, I am simply saying that if we come to understand how we truly perceive, think, and decide, how all human brains take in, process, and act on data, that neither the explanations of randomness nor black swans will be so frequently needed. In fact, if we focus on the first one, perception, we will gain much. If we begin to incorporate the new realities of the sources of our own behavior in the market or in any high-risk decision, we will much more easily understand why we so often do that which we wish we wouldn't have. The provenance of this book. Clearly, after centuries of debate in perception psychology, I am not writing just to be a writer. I intend to submit ideas that offer a theory that beats a theory, the unquestioned superiority of the intellect over the human realities of feeling and emotion. As such, I think it only fair that I explain how we got here. In 2003, after updating for publication my master's thesis on unconscious patterns of perception and behavior, and after 9 years as a trader in a number of different environments, I had an idea about how understanding of conscious and unconscious emotions applied to trading. Gail Austin, now of the Chicago Board Options Exchange, found it interesting enough to publish the beginnings of the idea in the magazine SFO, Stock, Futures, and Options, which she then edited. Somewhat to my amazement, a handful of traders and portfolio managers called to ask for help in applying the ideas. A few years later, my own futures broker asked me to speak publicly on my thoughts about emotions and market decisions. Now, almost 7 years later, I have had the unexpected, enlightening, and frankly delightful experience to teach my theory and its application to a few thousand people who daily deal in markets. A truly unexpected, at least in the first few years, number of them have said, "That's it, you're right. This finally makes sense." One trader who attended a CME group talk I gave for floor traders always says that he knew I was truly on to something when he watched 150 floor traders remain motionless in their seats for over an hour while I explained how one's unconscious needs and expectations could change a market decision. In 25 years of trading, he had never seen floor traders sit still for anything. From his seat near the door, he marveled that only one person left the room. Finally, what even Taleb might agree with is that a highly unlikely number of these traders have reported notably more success with what turns out to be their relationship with, and not their probability analyses of, markets, risk, and uncertainty. Market Mind Games outlines my attempt to curate all that I have learned in trading, investing, neuroscience, and consulting into one coherent, logical, and usable structure. Here's the big picture of where we are going. Perception. Beliefs as the foundation of judgment. Judgment as the key to uncertainty. The mind's recipe for making sense of risk. The imperative of using emotions as data. The natural law of contexts. FC, or feeling context, a physical state. EC, or emotional context, a type of FC. The gargantuan role of the FEC, or fractal emotional context. Managing to psychological and emotional capital. Creating and recreating psychological leverage. It doesn't matter if you look at this from the perspective of the group or the individual, whether you want to know how to make better portfolio and trading decisions for yourself, or whether you are at the Securities and Exchange Commission or Federal Reserve and you want to understand the minds and behaviors of professional traders. Billion-dollar bonfires and market minion meltdowns stem from single matches of the mind being lit with the kindling of uncertainty. Whether you care about the